And we are live. Come on, see some ball. Come on, baby. And we are live with Olive, my Black Cape Conure today. She's a little bit agitated, so we'll see how this goes. If she gets too crazy, I might have to put her back in her cage, but we'll see. Are you okay? Want to spin? Yeah, good job. All right, so in today's video, well, in today's live, what am I even saying? This is going to be a good start. Today's topic is a topic very controversial that I am very passionate about, that I have very strong beliefs. I wouldn't say it's an opinion. I think it's a belief. And I'm going to try to not be mean if I have comments that are not necessarily aligned with my belief. But let's get into the subject, shall we? We're going to talk about wing clipping. And the reason why I brought, come on. Good job. The reason why I decided to have Olive on this live is because Olive is the only bird that I have, while I have her, that was clipped. So Olive is the only bird that I got from a breeder, and she came to me clipped, and I did not know that she would be clipped. So that was a bummer. My budgie's never been clipped. My Indian ringneck that you can hear right now, I don't know if she ever been clipped because I don't really have a history for her, but I know that from the moment I got her, she wasn't. So that's why I decided to bring Olive here, because I have some knowledge with her about the clipping stuff that I personally experienced. So let's start, right? Are we going to start talking about wing clipping? Yeah. So basically what I'm going to go over is the reason why people are getting their birds, their parrots, their wing clipped. I'm going to debunk these reasons and show you why these reasons are actually just illusions. Because none of it actually works. And then I'm also going to I have some notes here because there's lots to say about this. But then I'm also going to talk about why it's wrong. Yeah, so you find it. I'm absolutely against wing clipping. Why it's wrong to clip your bird's wing and what should you do instead. So don't drink my water, baby girl. Okay, come on. Come here, you'll get a treat. Good job. All right, so first off, I don't understand why. In my mind, it makes no sense. Why would you want to get a pet that their main way of moving and going from point A to point B is by flying if you don't want them to fly? I don't understand this concept. If you don't want a pet that flies, just get a dog, a cat, or a fish, right? But there are reasons why people are deciding to clip their birds' wings, and we're going to talk about this. So the main reasons that I usually hear is, I have notes here because, oh, maybe you're not going to like my glasses. Okay, that's okay. What's going on, baby girl? Do you want to come here? Come here. Oh, you're doing spin again. Come on. No, like this. Okay, good job, baby. And then if you have questions about wing clipping, or I say something that isn't clear, put it in the chat, okay? I'm going to look at once in a while to see if there's any question regarding this topic, okay? Okay, so people, why they're clipping their birds' wings, most of the reason why, and yes, I'm looking at my notes right now, okay? Most of the reason that I hear from people is that first, they don't want their bird to escape and lose them. So they think by clipping their bird's wings, they will lose the ability to fly, so they will not escape and they will not fly away. So when you think about it real quick, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? But I can tell you that this does not work because different reasons. So first off, they can still fly, most of them, when they're being clipped. So Olive here, when I got her, she was 8 weeks old and she was clipped, and I did not know she was clipped. Now, is this my fault? A little bit, because in my head, I was so sure that it was a given, that like I thought it was like an old thing that people were doing. It wasn't current anymore. I really thought that people knew better now. I realized really quick that no. So I didn't even have that conversation with the breeder. I didn't think that he would, like, I didn't even think it was a thing, right? So, and then I got there and he said, I really recommend that you keep the wing clipping so she doesn't escape. And I was like, what? Her wings are clipped? I was so bummed out. Anyways, so I brought her home and she could fly, you guys. Even as a little baby with her wings clipped, she could fly. So she couldn't fly really long distance, or she didn't really have first, she was really young. And second, she didn't have full control where she was going because her wings were clipped and she couldn't fly really long distance. The problem with that is that if your bird escapes and they get caught in the wind, they will go really, really far, and then they don't have control. They don't have the ability to go down, and then they'll crash when the wind stops and they'll die. This is what's going to happen to your bird if you clip their wings in. Anyways, this, I'm going to calm down. Like I said, I'm very passionate about this. She could still fly. Now, she's a pretty small bird. And she was not heavily clipped. Some people are actually heavily clipping their birds. I saw someone that had the wings were clipped, the tail was clipped. It was just a big mess. So in this instance, they can't really fly, but this triggers other issues. And then when they are bigger birds, they will try to fly, and then they will, come here. They will try to fly, and then they will hurt themselves. So, and then they'll be scared. Anyways, it's a big thing, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But basically, if you're clipping your bird's wings, thinking they won't be able to fly, they won't be able to escape, or if they can't fly, they won't be able to go really far. Well, if it's windy outside, they will go really far and they will die. So it's just being delusional, thinking that by clipping their wings, they won't be able to go anywhere. I'm going to have to tell myself to calm down every so often during this live, I think, just because I'm so passionate about this. Okay, so then let's see here what else. Other reason why people choose to clip their bird's wings, it's easier to tame. Why this is an illusion? Because they think that if your bird doesn't have the ability to fly away, it's going to be easier for them to tame them because they won't have another option. Wrong answer. So what happens with these birds that we're trying to tame and they don't have the ability to fly away because they are heavily clipped and they cannot fly at all, they lose their flight reflex. So birds, when they feel in danger, or if they're scared of something, or they feel uncomfortable, or they don't want to do something, it's fight or flight. This is how they are wired. So they either fight, meaning they will bite, or they fly, meaning they will fly away. And usually, because birds are prey animals, they will usually choose to fly away. If they choose to bite and to fight, usually it's because they have no other option, or they don't trust their ability that they can actually fly away, or they don't have the time to fly away, or they're stuck in a small space. Come on. In a small space that makes them impossible to fly away. So they will bite. Now, because if their wings are clipped, if your bird is uncomfortable, scared, doesn't want to do something, what is their option? They can't fly. So they will bite. So most of these birds that are clipped, they show way more aggressive behavior. So meaning they bite more often than others. So again, this is just an illusion that it's easier to tame your bird if they are clipped. What are you doing? Are you gonna, here, we're gonna show a little trick. Oh, no, you're coming on my shoulder? Okay. Okay, be nice on my shoulder though, wait. You're gonna be nice? Okay, you're gonna be nice. What else? What is the other reason? Let's see. I can't read myself. Oh, so the other reason, and usually those are breeders that are doing this. Come on, come on. Not always, but come on. You want to come here? Okay, good job, baby. Is so every birds when they're baby and start flying, we call this the fledging phase. So they're literally learning how to fly. So this is the time where they naturally in the wild will start flying away from the nest, right? So they're learning how to flap their wings and fall. And it's very chaotic, especially if the bird is in a smaller space, like a smaller room. I remember when I got my budgies and I started, they were from pet stores, so they were kind of cage bound, but they were pretty young. So you want to come here? What's going on? You're stressed. Are you stressed? Oh, baby. Oh, okay. Let's show how cute you are. My budgies. Okay, you don't want to? Do you want to come here? Come on. Come on. Want to come? Okay, good job. You want to come in here? Oh, like this? Or do you want to be a little baby? Do you want to be a little baby? It's distracting being live with a bird. Want to be a little baby? Okay, there you go. Here, I'll bring this down a little bit so people can see you being all cute like a little baby. You're being all cute like a little baby. I'm being super distracted right now from the subject. You know that, right? Yeah, you know that, right? Oh, little baby. Little baby. Look at this little baby. Okay. All right, let's go back to the subject. The fledging phase is very chaotic because they're learning how to fly. They don't know how to fly, and so they don't know how to stop, how to land. And this is when they actually crash into walls, into windows, they crash down. Like it's very, very chaotic. And a lot of people think that if they clip their bird's wing, they will protect them from hurting themselves while they fledge. So during that fledging phase, so they think that at the beginning, they should have one clipping session, if you will, and then they think after I'll just let that grow. I won't clip my birds anymore, just the first time so that they don't go through that fledging phase. Well, guess what? You're just retarding. It's retarding. Is it even a word? No, it's not. I'm mixing French and English right now. You're just delaying. That's a real word. You're delaying you're delaying the fledging phase, if you will. So, I mean, their wings are going to be, how can I say, they'll be more mature because it takes about a year to completely molt and get new feathers. Olive took about a year and a half. Well, no, I want to say probably a year to lose her clipped feathers and to gain the new one. So it takes about a year. So yes, your bird is older, more mature, but they lost that. It's a very important phase. It's a very important moment in their, if you will, growth, right? And learning. It should be done when they're babies, not when they're grown up adults and they get a little bit complacent and they just want to sit on one perch. I'm not saying that's what they want to do when they're a year old, but if they haven't exercised those muscles, you're just delaying the whole process. So they're still going to be super clumsy, and then you're going to be, oh my gosh, I don't want my bird to get hurt, so I'm going to clip the wings again, and then you just get into that cycle again and again and again. And the thing is that it doesn't actually prevent them really from being hurt, because like I said at the beginning, most of them can still fly. And if they can't, because they're heavily clipped or they're bigger, like a macaw or an African, well, macaws, if they're clipped, when it's their fledgling phase, they're going to lose that. It's going to be so hard to get that back. But because they won't. So what happens is the bird goes to a trauma, because they're going to try, it's part of themselves. They're going to try to fly anyways, because it's part of the process. When they're young, they come to a certain stage, they should be leaving the nest. So they're going to try to fly. They won't be able to, they'll crash. Some of them can actually hurt themselves really bad. I heard someone, the bird, an African gray, actually broke their wing and they've never been able to fly ever again. They had a broken wing and there was nothing else they could do about this. And then, what are you doing, Olive? Come on. My little pot of, my little bowl of treat is on the table there, and she's just playing with it. She wants treats. That's all she wants. Okay, you want to come here? Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, come on. Come on, you're gonna get a treat. Good job. So they hurt themselves and then they're scared to fly again, right? And this is where it gets really difficult to train them if you want to, once they're scared to actually try to fly. And they'll just stay in one spot and not really move. So these 3 reasons that I talked about, being afraid to lose them if they escape outside the house, it's easier to tame them, or you want to prevent them from being hurt during that fledgling phase. Those are all illusion. Those are not real reasons, because it's still, all of this will still happen. And the easier taming part, it's actually doing the opposite. So those are all wrong reasons, because they aren't true. They're just an illusion. So we don't do that. I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm going to quickly look if there's any question about wing clipping. Anyone here has birds or had birds in the past, or thinking of getting a pet bird in the future, whatever that may be, whatever the size, it can be anything like parrot family though. So anything between a parrotlet and a macaw, let me know in the comments. I want to know if you ever had one, want to have one, or have one currently. And if you ever experienced a bird with clipped wings, and how did that go? All right, so now the other thing I want to talk about is, so these are all reasons why it's wrong to clip your bird's wing, but there are other reasons why it's wrong, okay? You want to come see me? You're going to get a treat, but you need to come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Okay, good job. There are other reasons, okay? So here. Okay. All right, so Most of those reasons are health issues, okay, that it's creating when your bird is clipped. The bird's anatomy, how they're built, is to be able to fly. So their whole body is meant to be able to fly. So how they burn calories, how the structures, like everything is made and is built to fly, right? So if they are removed the ability to fly, what is this going to happen? So, okay, come here. Do you want to come here on my shoulder, baby? That'd be nice. Yeah. Oh, good job, baby. You want to get a treat for this? Okay, come here. What are you doing? Do you want your treat? What are you doing? So health issues, because it takes a lot of, especially if they don't have the right diet, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of energy to be able to fly. So it burns a lot of calories. So if your bird is not flying, it's just sitting all day on a perch, they're not spending the energy that they should spend. And I mean, in captivity, although my birds are flying in the house and they have free time in the house, they don't even fly as much, and they don't, whoops, oh, are you okay? You got scared because I moved the thing, eh? Okay. They don't even fly or spend as much energy as if they were in the wild. And I totally get that. Should they be in the wild? 100%. I got her from a breeder. I will never do this again. When I first started having birds, I was seeing them as a pet, really. The more I learn about these guys and the more I experience these guys, the more I realize that they are not, they are tame and tameable, but they're not domesticated, if that makes sense. So they're still wild animals. And that's one of the reasons why I will never, ever, ever get another bird from a breeder, like a baby, I mean. Like, if I get a bird from a breeder, it's going to be like Olive, for example. Not Olive, but Lucy, my Indian ringneck. She was from a breeder, but she was a breeding bird. He just wanted to get rid of her. She was already an adult. So I kind of saved her from a life of misery, being stuck in a cage and laying eggs, and that's it. So anyways, I digress here. Let's go back to the clipping situation. So are you okay, baby? What's going on? Oh, you're so cute. You're all fluffed up. You're really cute. Let's show you people how cute you are. You're so cute. Oh, you're so cute, baby. Look at you. You're so cute. Yeah, I get distracted when I get those little baby on the live. But look at her. She's molting a little bit, so she has a few pin feathers on her head, so this feels good for her. Yeah. Does it feel good? Does it feel good? Oh, yeah, you have a whole bunch of pin feathers on your head, baby. Yes, you do. Look at you. You're so freaking cute. Yes. So if they don't fly at all, if they don't get that exercise, what happens, and especially if they have the wrong diet and you don't adjust their diet, they're going to get a whole bunch of health issues, like heart problems, liver failure, liver disease. They'll most likely die way younger than they should. Yeah, it's just going to create a whole bunch of problems. And then their muscles, their muscles that makes them fly is it's really big. It's mainly like most of us, for example, most humans, I know bodybuilders, they work those arms, but naturally your muscles in your legs are way stronger than your muscles in your arms, because you should be walking all day, right? well, walking every day. I mean, you should be walking every day. This is how we're meant naturally to move in the world, is by walking. Yes, now we're a modern world and we have other ways to get around, but you know what I mean? Like, we're not supposed to walk on our hands and we're supposed to walk on our feet. So that's why, so it's the same thing for birds, right? They're most, you're being really cute right now. What are you doing? Oh no, now you're being mean a little bit. Don't bite me. Now, she was just playing a little rough and then she decided to bite me a little bit. But it wasn't, biting is just a natural behavior on them, right? So, and clipping your bird doesn't help with biting because it's just going to enhance that natural behavior because they will lose the flight reflex that they normally have. They're just going to fight and bite. So, other thing that it can create, I talked about it a little bit when I was debunking that false idea that people have that it's easier to tame your bird if you clip their wings, is that it leads to aggression. So I talked about this a little bit, but yeah, so they lose that ability to fly away from you, or they don't trust their ability anymore because they try to fly and they hurt themselves. So now they're scared. So it's easier for them to bite. It's more efficient for them to fight, meaning biting, than to try to escape from you. So you're just not going to have that great relationship with your bird. And if you've ever watched any of my videos about training or other people videos about training, like Good Bird Trainer, like Bird Tricks, they're awesome for that. You don't want to force your bird into anything ever. We train oh my gosh, I can't speak this morning. Permission-based training. A bird is not a dog. They don't care about you really. Well, they do, but they don't. Like, it's just different. They just, like I said, you can tame them, but they're not domesticated. They're still wild animals. You can't force a bird to do something they want. They'll fight back. What are you doing? So most of clipped birds are way more aggressive than the other ones because of that, because they feel forced all the time. So you develop a hate type of relationship with your bird. And then not only they feel forced, but they don't have the ability to fly away anymore. So they just fight. That's the only option they have. So it becomes like a pat. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. You want me to scratch your head a little bit? Jeez, you're cute. You're way too cute. You're way too cute. I need to talk to these people about wing clipping, not just scratch your head while we're on the live. Look how cute she is. Isn't she super cute? Oh my gosh, I can't even. She's just the cutest little thing. Okay, we have like 7 minutes left on this live. And I really want to talk about what should we do instead of clipping our bird's wings. What is the better option? What should we do so that all these reasons that people are getting their birds clipped, meaning they don't want them to escape, they want them to be able to be tamed easily, and they want to, what's the other reason? So they don't hurt themselves in the fledgling phase. So what should we do instead? Sorry, guys. This is too cute. Look at that. She's just having a blast right now. You can't see on the other side, but on my side, her eyes is like completely closed. Like she's just... This is good, eh? With all your pin feathers, baby. Okay, I need to stop. I need to focus on what I'm doing. Yes, I need... Oh my gosh. You're just the cutest little thing. You're all fluffed up now. Look at her. Okay, Seriously though, what should we do instead? Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to continue and I'm going to talk, okay? Because you really want just scritches. Oh my goodness, I can't even. What should we do? So here, I'm going to pull my list. We need to train them and we need to teach them how to fly. In nature, the mom is doing that, right? When it's time for them to get out of the nest, the parents are teaching them how to fly. Well, they're being raised in captivity. They don't have that. So we are the parents that are going to teach them how to fly. And teaching them how to fly, there's different ways you can do this through training. It actually enhances that relationship with you. This is how you tame your bird, you guys. Not by clipping their wings, but by interacting with them, by teaching them stuff, by training them and showing them how, oh, what's going on? Teaser ball? Come on, okay. Showing them how to fly. This is one of the things that if you don't want to train, like some people are just like, yeah, well, I don't want to treat my bird, my pet bird, my parrot like a clown and teach them tricks or whatever. Fair enough. If you don't want to teach them anything or train them to do tricks, that's fine. I understand that. Just teach them and train them how to fly. If there's only one thing you're going to do with your bird, do this. Something that I meant to say at the beginning and I forgot. I am not really black and white when it comes to parrot because I do think that there are different circumstances, different way of living, different type of birds. So I don't think there is necessarily a one-size-fits-all guidebook for everybody when it comes to parrots. But I strongly believe the only thing I don't think there's any gray area, in my opinion, is the clipping situation. This should be a no-go. And one other thing that I can tell you why it's wrong, it's because it's cruel. And it's some people will say it's not cruel. It doesn't even hurt them. It's like clipping your nails. Yes. But it's not cruel because it would hurt them. The reason why it's cruel is because you're removing their ability to do what they're born to do, meaning fly. So if I put this into human perspective, oh my gosh, we're past the 30 minutes. Okay, this live might be a little bit longer because I'm just too passionate about this. If as a human, cutting our legs was not hurting, let's say it doesn't hurt at all, okay? In our case, it does hurt, but let's say it doesn't, okay? If we remove your ability to be able to walk, are you going to be happy? You're going to be resilient and make it work. But I think that if you talk to anyone that needs to move around in a wheelchair, they would tell you, I would much rather be able to walk instead of being stuck in my wheelchair all the time, right? Well, it's the exact same thing. So it is cruel to do that to a bird, even though it doesn't actually hurt. It doesn't hurt physically, but it hurts their mental state, if you will. Okay. One last thing I want to cover before I go is quickly go over what you need to do. Okay. And then you can watch videos about training and all kinds of stuff, but you need to train your bird how to fly by recall training. And what is recall training? See here, so my T-stand is way further. Olive, come on, Olive. Good job. That is recall training. You call your bird and they come to you to get a reward. By doing this, what happens is that if you ever have, well, first, you're getting an interaction, positive interaction with your bird, and you're taming your bird that way. You're having a positive experience with your bird. So they're being engaged with you and they're having fun and they're doing something they like. Oh my gosh, you're in the treat bowl. Whoa, what are you doing? And you're teaching them how to fly. So if they escape, you have more chance to actually recover your bird that is recall trained than to recover a bird that their clips or wings and they got caught in the wind. You have way more chance to recover your bird. That is fact. Now, do I want my bird to escape? Absolutely not. But still, this is giving me more chance to be able to do that. Now, teach them how to fly safely. So you don't want to bring your bird outside to teach them to fly. You know what I mean? Unless they are in an aviary or something that is actually really safe. This is a really long live, but this is so important, you guys. So teach them how to fly safely and start short distance, especially if your bird was clipped before. They're scared. They don't know how to fly. The bigger, the smaller the bird, the easier it is to recover from being clipped. She's amazing at flying now because she's smaller. But the bigger the bird is and the more difficult it gets to teach them how to fly and to remove that fear, especially if they got hurt because they crashed or whatever. The other thing that's really important that you want to teach your bird to do in order to be able to recover them if they ever escape and fly away outside of your home is to teach them to ascend and descend. So we have a tendency to teach them to fly horizontal, right? The same pattern. The problem with this, it's good. I'm not saying it's wrong, but the problem with this is most of the bird, they get caught in the wind. They go higher, 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 and then they're not able to descend because they don't know how to descend. It's a skill. Being able to fly down, it's an actual skill that they have to learn. And at the beginning, they'll be scared to do that. When I started with Olive to teach her to descend, she didn't want to come to me. I had to start very short distance and increase that distance. Okay, you want to come? Come on. And same thing to go up. It takes more power to go up, but it takes more skills to fly down. So you need to work on both. Distance, descending, ascending. This is going to give you more chance to recover your bird because they will trust their ability. They'll be able to go down. So let's say I put her up here. Okay, come on, baby. Come on. Good job. They'll be able to fly down to you. They won't be scared. At the beginning, she would have never done this because she was scared. She didn't know how to descend. They don't know naturally how to do these things. You have to teach them. You have to train them to do it. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think we're almost... You want a kiss? Mom! Good job, baby. You're such a sweet little girl. She's so cute. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. This was an almost 40-minute live, and I usually stop at 30, but I think this is a very important topic. Guys, you need to stop clipping your bird's wings. Are you okay? Yeah. There are other ways to do things. All right? You want a kiss? Good job. Okay, well, I will see you next week with another topic. Make sure to subscribe and look for the poll on the YouTube, under YouTube, the post tab. I put a poll every Thursday of 3 options of topic, and you get to pick which one we're going to talk about. The one that gets the most votes, this is what we're going to talk about. I do the same thing on my Instagram story, anniesflock Instagram. If you don't follow us over there, look in the description box of the live. I have the link there, and go subscribe over there. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye guys.